Alright guys, it is time for an update video on the 55 Belair project. If you've been following along, I've been trying to get my 55 Chevy ready for a car show in Tulsa, Daryl Starber's Rod and Custom Car Show, which is February 17th is when I actually had the car there. The show's not till the 19th, 20th, and 21st. But anyway, so this is January 10th, 2021. So today marked 38 days I have left to get my car finished. I haven't updated the channel in a while with an update video, and so anyway, 38 days left. Not gonna make it. No surprise, right? Well, the main reason is they canceled the show for the pandemic, but the reschedule I have wrote down here is April 30th to May 2nd. So I just got 2 more months for free. How cool is that? So when I come out of the garage now, from the house, at any time of the day, and I walk out here, this is what I see. Besides the mess. So that car has come a long way since the last video you saw of it. I think it looks freaking awesome in this condition. I like project cars at this point. I just like the look of it. Car will come down quite a bit further on the height after I get, the bumper, the trunk lid, the gas tank, the glass, and all that stuff in it. I like my cars low. And anyway, so the rear end's in. All the brake lines are hooked up. I actually went over them twice, all the fittings, make sure everything was tight, because I sure don't want a brake fluid leak and ruin some of the paint on this thing. I would have had working brakes had I have had brake fluid, which is a pretty important thing to have. I used all my brake fluid on the 4-door 55 project a few months ago when I did a disc brake kit on it, and I forgot to buy more, so I would have had working brakes tonight. Now, I had planned about a week ago, last weekend actually, I was planning on having this thing starting and running tonight. I was just going to start it and let it run for like 4 or 5 seconds and then shut it off, but because I don't have a radiator in it. But that was the goal until the last 2 days has turned into a snowball effect with the wiring. It's just kind of something I didn't see coming. And I actually went a little bit further than what I needed to because, since the show got canceled, I went ahead and spent a little bit more time on something, but I'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, I've been on the wiring on the car. So I've got the firewall pad in the car. The fuse box is mounted, and I've got a lot of the stuff wired. I've still got the ignition switch to finish. I actually had to go get some connectors, spade connectors to finish that. The engine, I need to wire everything on it, the distributor, the starter. I got to put a lug on the battery cable and route it and everything. But anyway, since the last time you saw it, it didn't have the alternator on it. Now I've got the air cleaner just setting on it. I will have to pull it off to do, set the floats and tune the carb and stuff, but I can show you this. Everything in here is all dusty. Man, I can barely hold on to that. I am sore. I went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. My dog woke me up at 5:30 in the morning to use the bathroom, and then I had breakfast, just come right out here and went back to work. And I am tired, man. That is my cold air system I built with the factory air cleaner. It's highly modified. That's a cane and cone, and it exits on the baffle beside the radiator and goes out front. So that is real cold air induction, basically. Cold air pipe. That ought to be good for 2 horsepower. I don't really care what the horsepower is. As long as it works and looks nice, that's all I care. But anyway, man, I am tired, let me tell you. It is time for a shower in bed. I actually never know what time it is out here, but now I do. Shit, I might as well stay out here till at least midnight, I think. I could put another 40 minutes or so in the car, I would imagine. I'll just do that. Round it out. Anyway, alternator's on. I've got my belt on and everything, so I'm in process of wiring all the engine components here. I've got all the factory connectors to put in. Well, not factory for 55, but this is the correct HEI connector for the HEI for your power, and this is the one for your tack for the HEI, which I've got that shift light in my Autotronic eye, so this will, that wire has to go to that for that to work. So that'll all look OEM. And then I took the old ugly black wires out of that plastic connector for that alternator, because it just, two plain black wires just looked ugly to me. So I got some clear shield red. It's a little bit bigger, so it matches my main battery cable. And I did that. Now this white wire right here is alternator exciter from my harness. It'll end up getting cut to fit and pinned in there, so I just think it'll look better with red and white wire than two black wires. But anyway, I did highlight. Now I drilled these speed holes in this case, and I smoothed this case, and I painted this alternator and everything. But I did do a silver highlight in there just to kind of break it up, make it look a little detailed, but it matches my alternator bracket. So anyway, I'll show you what some wires look like through my brake lines. So this is 3/16 steel brake line that I've bent and flared, and I welded brackets on, and I painted it engine orange, and then that way it's a wiring pass-through. And I have the correct connector set up on the factory 56 temp gauge sending unit. So that's all you see of the wire on there is that green, and I think that's pretty cool. It just pretty much is hidden. I have it on the temp probe for the electric fan as well. I got my throttle linkage on. This is all custom made, and I drilled speed holes in it as well, painted it silver. It's got all new bushings and everything. It works fantastic, and I am getting wide open throttle at the lever. So that's all cool. What else? So I've got most of the dash is wired, and the wires hanging out of the glove box are for the radio. That's power, and that's actually ignition and battery, because my radio is going in here. Got my headlight switch hooked up and mounted. It's right there, because I got the no-holes dash trim. It's originally supposed to be here. I've still got to wire the steering column, which I don't have here. There's the wires for it. And then I have to finish the ignition switch set up in it. But man, I'm happy. I got the harness mounted under there, really, really nice. I don't think you can see it. It's probably too dark. Everything's clean looking. I've got that new style loom, the woven or weave or whatever you call it. I'm going to be putting behind all the dash wiring and everything, even in the trunk, so it'll just look clean. So I built a whole new dome light harness. I had bought, what I installed is an Easy Wire 12 circuit kit. It's, street rod universal harness. It does not come with dome light stuff, and I wanted my dome light, so I had to build my own. So I bought new orange and white wire and taped it all together. But it's in the factory place here. Now the dome lights are originals from this car. I just restored them. I repainted the inside chrome spray paint so it'd be a little bit more reflective. I bought reproduction new lenses. They're in the packages. But I cleaned all this up with 4/0 steel wool and a little bit of mother's polish, and they turn out really, really sharp. And I have another pair of these that I'm actually going to put in my kick panels so it'll shine light down here when the door's open. So I'll have 4 matching dome lights. I have my sub box in. I've got everything wired up. It is mounted. I actually drilled 2 7/16 holes in the bottom of the box and the trunk floor, and I used 12-point ARPs from the bottom going up. So when you're under the car, you just see 2 12-point ARPs there. But I got my kicker 6x9s in. I use stainless steel machine screws in there. Got nylon lock nuts on the back, stainless steel as well. Anyway, I drilled holes in the body, and I've got these little plastic loom clamps. This is the speaker wiring for my 6x9, so underneath everything's out of the way. I routed the 6x9s down here, and I actually drilled a hole in the floor here and put a rubber grommet so the wiring can go in behind. I did the same thing here for my sub box. This speaker wire is a little bit smaller gauge than the subwoofer one, but it kind of sucks. I polished every one of these screws on the buffing wheel, and these plastic loom clamps are from Lowe's, and these are 1/4 inch. I did not have enough to do this. I needed 2 for this because it's just a single here, but once it gets here I needed 3/8. All Lowe's had was white. They were out of black. So I'm going to go tomorrow to another store and buy black ones and then pull them back out and change them, because it's just driving me crazy. And you're not even going to see it when the freaking seat's in it, but it just bugs me. I don't, I spend all the time making that look nice, and I just want it done. I did run a yellow wire. It's going to be the memory wire for my radio, so it doesn't lose its, presets and clock and all that. It's just an inline fuse. And I'm going to hook it directly to the battery post because I have a battery cutoff switch. So if I shut off the battery cutoff switch, this will still keep my memory because it's going directly to the radio. So just something I thought might be a good idea, actually. Where am I at on minutes? I got to keep track here because the GoPro shuts off. I have to start going through quick here. So I've got my brake caliper covers on. Made those out of sheet metal. I've covered that many times. I've got them on front and rear. But I ended up putting chrome Belair scripts on instead of painted originals that I was going to. Originally, those would have been gold anodized, but I bought chrome. And I think it looks pretty freaking awesome. I sand and buffed those brake caliper covers, and they are nice and slick. But it's kind of cool when you spin one of the wheels, the Belair script looks like it's floating in there. It's kind of cool. So this is my 2-day project right here that snowballed. I wanted to get all the wiring done on the car so I didn't have to go back and take something loose to run a wire or hook something up. I want to get all of it done, you know, besides the headlights and stuff that would be up front. But all the, you know, from the firewall, engine firewall back, I wanted all this stuff done. So I had to pretty much go in here and do a little upholstery work, a little woodwork, and some detail stuff. But I am happy with the way it's coming out. This masonite piece was already cut out. It's been under my bed for several years. All I did was glue down the GM logo there. That is just 2 wooden letters from Walmart. They're like 88 cents or something each. And this is a 5-gallon bucket paint stick that I cut down for the bar. I will cover this in black carpet, and I'll go around this with a roller, and this will look like it's embossed. I did this on my Cutlass Salon back in 2017, and I loved it. If you want to see that, I have a video of that on my channel. Click on videos, go all the way to the bottom. There's like 4 videos of that Cutlass Salon, and look at the last 2 videos I uploaded of that car. And one of them I opened the trunk and show that, and it looks really awesome. Even if you're not into Cutlass Salons, check that car out because I did a ton of trick little details to it, and it looked awesome. But anyway, back to this. I ended up, this is 1/4-inch plywood, and I built basically just an amp rack. This is Velcroed to the floor, so I can remove it if I need to, but you do have to put quite a bit of effort in it. The Velcro I used is pretty sticky. Anyway, I wrapped it in carpet, and I put my battery cutoff switch in there, my fuse for my amp, and obviously my amp. Now, I was trying to find grommets to put in here to run these wires through. I walked the Lowe's aisle in their hardware department, and I could not find anything. And I know they make these that are hollow in the middle, but I couldn't find them. So I ended up buying these. These are furniture plugs, and I drilled them. And I actually used a caliper, and I drilled them to the size I needed to be for the wire, except this RCA one's, you know, the RCA, the wire itself's thin, but the head is big, so I had to make the holes bigger. But anyway, the wires kind of go through down into the floor, and I just think it looks cleaner that way, you know. It just, to me, it just looks awesome. But my neighbor built that sub box for me several years ago, and I took it and had it spray lined at a bed liner shop. It looks pretty good. I have all kicker sound system in the car, and this stuff is from Walmart. I actually have the receipts in the boxes, and when I took the stuff out from 2014 is when I got that stuff. But anyway, this is the inexpensive line of kicker, but it does sound pretty good, I've been told. But I'm not big into car audio stuff. I do like a little bit of sound like I'm at a concert, but it doesn't have to be perfect clarity for me. I'm good with that, you know. I don't have the money to buy high-end, man, so that's good enough for me. But anyway, my carpet I bought for the car is Cut Pile ACC brand, 1 piece. And it is the black Cut Pile just like this. And so my trunk floor, all this will be Cut Pile. And then when Ciadella made my upholstery kit for the seats, I bought extra yardage of both materials to do. This will be a side panel going in here and back here again. So you're not even going to see any of that. Now this panel is going to be Velcroed and be removable in case a judge wants to see that, or, you know, whatever. But that's kind of funny. That will all be hidden, but it still looks nice. I'm happy with it. Anyway, so got all that to do. Now I do have the stainless steel door panel trim from the front doors of a 4-door Belair 55, so it will match my Belair door panels. The stainless trim will go in, has the little curve. I'm going to put those on the side pieces. I'm going to put 2 little short straight pieces and then a crest right in the middle, like a hood or a trunk crest. But where am I at on minutes? I got to keep track. 15 minutes, so I'm pretty much out of time. I'll give you a quick shot under here. I've been under here a lot today. I built my brake line or battery cables today, got those put on. My stainless steel exhaust. I spent a full week, no joke, sanding and polishing stainless exhaust and wrapping it and everything. Even the stainless steel clamps I sanded and polished. So the exhaust system is done and it looks fantastic. Anyway, brake line or battery cables are on, shocks are on. This was my last project because I got to figure out where to put drill a hole in the floor up here and put a rubber grommet for my license plate light. But this is a fold-up bracket that I can fold up at shows and then forget to unfold it and take off down the highway and get pulled over. So anyway, guys, I'm exhausted. It's time for a shower. I got 30 minutes. I might go ahead and work another 30 minutes, and hell, I may start putting the gas tank in.